about it, the Talmud has a great line that says, "Over every single blade of grass, there is an angel leaning and whispering, 'Grow, grow, grow.' And that little blade of grass will press through cement seeking the light." That same life energy that causes a blade of grass to press through cement seeking the light, that same life energy is in you, beckoning to you, pushing on you, encouraging you to grow and expand and express really who you are in greater, freer, fuller, expanded ways. And life that encourages you to live itself fully has ideas that will actually assist us if we know how life works. So if you think about it, on our planet, which 14, 15 billion years, our planet, there's about 60,000 years of upright humans on the planet. About 6,000 years of recorded history, only about 3,000 years of which is pretty good recorded history. And just 500 years ago, people lived little lives because they believed if they went too far out, they were going to fall off the edge of the earth. And pretty much everybody believed that. And so they lived constricted lives based on an operating system which kept their lives small, even though it wasn't really true. But if their logic told them if they sailed out over the edge, they would fall right off. You can see it. And after all, even if it was round and you got to the bottom, how would you ever stick to the bottom? You'd fall right off. So then there was a big breakthrough 500 years ago. And about 100 years ago, just a little over 100 years ago, the only way to have light after dark was build a fire or have oil. For thousands of years, that's the only way humans had light. All the while, there was an invisible law that governed the ability that we now have and take for granted to put light wherever we want it. We had to learn how to work in harmony with a law that always existed, and when we did, it liberated us, not only to have light where we wanted, but ultimately to harness that light, focus that light, create laser, cut through steel. And like that, we can make big changes, to even bring it so precisely that we can do very minute and precise surgery with that same light. So what we now know, and what is emerging and way fun, is that there are invisible laws that have always governed the visible side of our results. And what we call results, whether we call it success or we call it failure, the circumstances, the situations, the conditions in our lives are not happenstance, they are not luck, they are not random, they are as precise as when you go to a movie theater, what's going to be on that screen are the pictures that are being broadcast through the projector. And the light that moves through that film projects itself onto the walls we call the screen, and we sit and we watch a movie. And if we don't like the movie, we don't try to go to the screen and change the images. We go to the projection booth and we put down new film. What you're going to receive now, here, is 40 years of research, 40 years of study in a short amount of time about how you can understand how to work with the invisible laws that govern success and failure, so that you get to choose what kind of a life you want to live. And once you begin to understand it, what's fun is that the laws that govern success and failure, as you begin to understand this, it's predictable, it's reliable, it's repeatable. Electricity doesn't work different in California than it does in Shanghai. It's the same law. So be sure to watch all the way to the end of this, because I'm going to reveal some of the most important steps that you can take to bring your biggest dream, your greatest longing, into being, into your life. And without it, you simply won't get the same results. So what I know is that if building dreams were easy, almost everyone would have done it a long time ago. I've been studying these principles for over 40 years. And what I find is, as you move up the ladder of awareness, you can take your ideas and turn them into your realities way quicker when you understand how it works. And you practice yourself right on the landscape of your own life. So my life wasn't always like this, but let me just say to you, I am a best-selling author. I'm the author of 2 best-selling books, No Less Than Greatness, Building Your Field of Dreams. Building Your Field of Dreams was adapted into a PBS special. I've been a speaker and a teacher and a coach for over 30 years. I've built many dreams in my life. I long to make a difference, created a program with a group of colleagues of mine, ended up speaking at the United Nations for 3 different times as a co-chair of a season for nonviolence. I longed to meet His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and I wanted to have a personal conversation with him. That longing, I had no idea how to do what I wanted to do, which you probably won't know either. Your dreams will be way bigger than what you know how to do. That's why it's a dream. But I will show you the technology that takes it from the land of imagination and systematically, reliably, repeatedly, absolutely brings it into the landscape of what you call time and space, the land of your conditions, your circumstances, and your situations. And so I had the opportunity to not only meet the Dalai Lama, have that conversation, but then was invited to co-convene meetings, 3 different week-long meetings with him and world leaders in different parts of the world, having discussions over a 7-year period on how to solve the world's greatest problems. I longed to meet Nelson Mandela. I wanted to ask him, how did you move from being sentenced to life? You not only got released before you had lived your whole life there, you actually become president of the country that sentences you to life. How'd you do that? How did you use your mind? I not only got a chance to meet with him, ask my question, but over my life I began to see how this system that we're going to talk about today, how the dream building system, because I literally wrote the book on dream building in 1996. And over the number of years subsequent to that, I've learned a whole lot more about how to bring this into an easy, reliable, repeatable way of teaching it that becomes very simple and very easy to employ once you understand it. But all that success I just told you about, of course, is not the whole story. My life was not always like that. Along the way, there's a lot of learning, a lot of growing. In my bio, one of my favorite lines at the end of the bio is, amid all my degrees in higher learning, I have a master's degree in counseling psychology, I've earned an honorary doctorate in humane letters, and all of those honors and opportunities of working with people that are game changers for our whole world. Amid all of those honors, my 2 favorite degrees are the 2 black belts I've earned, one in success and one in failure. And along the way, both of those have been equally instructive. All the success and a couple of what looked like and were significant failures were very, very instructive to my understanding how it works and how it doesn't work. There was a time in my life where I built a wonderful multi-million-dollar business, and I lost it all. I lost not only the business, I lost my marriage at the time, I lost the house we lived in, I lost everything that looked like the structure, the material structure of the life I had built. I went to the Oregon coast for 90 days and I cried my eyes out for the first 30, 45 days of that. And then I began to realize, all right, you're still breathing. This is a dark chapter, it's not your whole book. And when I realized this, dark chapter, not your whole book, I began to realize that the same patterns I had learned for patterning success, I still knew, only now I was informed by some things that I hadn't known before. And the question was, would I take that learning and really do something with it or wallow in the pain of having lost and lost big? And I simply decided to pick myself up, start where I was, and start over again. Within 2 years, I had built another multi-million-dollar business. It didn't take me all those years. And I began to realize that the principles that I had known as I replicated them, the success factor happened way faster, way easier because of what I knew now. So building a multi-million-dollar business in 2 years might not be your dream. Your dream might be more in the realm of health or relationships. What I'm about to share with you, though, applies no matter what your dream is. So think about it for a minute. If you wanted to learn how to build something wonderful and you never really built anything, you would go to a master builder and say, I want to learn how to build. And the master builder might say to you, all right, we're going to teach you, what's your dream? What do you really want to build? And you might say, I want to build a skyscraper. And the builder would say, okay, I'll teach you how to build a skyscraper, but let's not start exactly there. Let's start by learning hammer, saw, drills, nails, and screwdriver. Let me teach you how to use those tools. Because once you learn how to use those tools, we'll start with building a box, then we'll build a desk, then we'll build a small house, larger house, office building, skyscraper. And what I'm going to show you is how the very same tools that build businesses and relationships and health and whatever else it is that you want to build work by the invisible laws that govern whatever result you make an agreement with. Because you can have success and you can have failure in any arena of your life. And I know that what you really want is that same thing that little blade of grass wants. You want to grow and expand and live your life fully. Even more, I really believe that what you want is you want to live a life of significance. You want to know that what you're putting your time, your talent, your energy in means something, that it makes a difference, that you're giving your gifts, that you're living in harmony with your own purpose, that you feel a sense of that what you're doing with your time and your energy matters. It matters to you and it matters to those you care deeply about. So this is a densely packed, high-value webinar. The principles I'm about to give you now have absolutely not only transformed my life, but they've transformed thousands of people's lives, tens of thousands of people's lives that I've had the privilege of working with over these 40 years. They've not only allowed me to earn millions of dollars doing what I love doing, living my purpose, but my friends and colleagues, some of the biggest names in the personal development industry, can tell you that they too use these principles to create their results, big results, and earn millions of dollars as well. So are you ready? Are you open? Let's take a deep breath. Let's have some fun with this. Okay, let's just move our body, maybe wiggle your toes a little bit. Okay? Truth is, dream building can be really fun, all right? I've designed our time together to make the maximum impact possible on helping you realize your dream in just a short amount of time. So I want to help you avoid years of trial and error that will actually waste your precious time and resources so that you can get right to the heart of your dreams and bring them into your life, that you can actually live your purpose and live in your passion. So you meet each day with authentic confidence, knowing that you're on the right path and that you have the tools that you really need to succeed. I want to help you understand the art of receiving and allowing so that you can actually allow the dream you are hoping for and not unknowingly block it from ever manifesting. Often people who actually are unconsciously blocking their dreams from coming into being, they actually blame the universe. They blame God. They blame other people. They blame their upbringing. They blame their circumstances or the economy. And all the while, they're out of harmony with the laws that govern the visible side of our results. So what I'm going to teach you is that your dream doesn't even depend on your circumstances or your history or your current, what's in your bank account. It doesn't depend on that. It depends on something entirely different. So do you ever feel this way? You imagine or you dream a goal, you get an idea for it. You actually get inspired and maybe even motivated, but that motivation just seems to evaporate after time. And a sense of, okay, your life or being stuck returns and the inspiration passes. And you don't really make any forward progress on your vision. And a year from now, you're still having the same story about your life. And maybe you get frustrated because you know when you're stuck, you actually know better, you think you know better, you know you should be taking action, but you actually feel powerless to change the behavior patterns, the thinking patterns that actually create the results you've got. Maybe you have encountered some failure or setback, and you start to question if you're on the right path or if you even have what it takes to bring about the result you would love to have in your life. That concern, am I enough? How do I get past this? I'm always stuck. All of those kinds of thoughts are normal for most people. So if you have any of those feelings, I want you to know something. You're not alone. And I'm going to show you how to connect to your real dream and then to stay in action in order to allow it, not make it, but make it welcome, to allow it to really become the visible forms of your life. Sound pretty good, right? So in this webinar, I'm going to cover a lot of ground. And I want to have you just relax. Don't worry if it doesn't all make sense right away. There's a lot of new information and maybe even new language that you're going to hear, which is all designed to help you understand at a deeper level just how thoughts become things and actually how your dreams can come into reality. Again, I've been a student of this material for over 40 years. I've been a teacher of it for over 30 years. So know that where you are right now is a perfect place to start. That all you have to do is plant the seeds of this teaching in your mind and gradually allow it to blossom through your attention. And you're going to begin to see some brand new results in your life. You go down life's highway, you take a 1-degree shift, 6 months down the road, you're in a whole new place. So the first key, and this is a fundamental life mastery skill. The first key is this one, to learn how to pay attention to what you're paying attention to. And why does that matter so much? So for a moment, if you notice what you're noticing, there's a really important power that you have to move your noticer, to move what you're noticing. For a second, notice the tips of your toes. Notice the feeling of your clothing touching every place on your body where your clothing is touching your skin. Notice the gentle caress of the air on your exposed skin. Notice your knees and your hips and your belly and your bottom and your shoulders and your upper arms and your elbows and your forearms and your wrists and your palms and the very tippy tips of your fingers. Notice your body. Notice your chin and your right cheek and your left cheek and your nose and your forehead and the top of your head. Notice your body. Notice. And now for a moment, notice what you are thinking. Notice that. Notice, no judgment, just notice what you've been thinking. Whether you've been thinking, this is great, this is crummy, just notice what you've been thinking. And now for a moment, notice what you've been feeling. Interested, bored, happy, sad, encouraged. What are you feeling? Just notice it. No judgment, just notice it. Until you can notice what you're noticing, you don't have full access to the power to harness that and move it in a direction that's in harmony with an outcome you want to create. This is very important. The first time I was introduced to this, it was 1971. I went to a lecture, and the man who was lecturing said in the middle of his lecture, now, here's the truth. Every circumstance in your life is neutral. You decide whether it's good or bad. And there is nothing good or bad all by itself. You decide. And I remember thinking, well, that's just simply not true. There is bad stuff in this world. And I, young, cross my arms, this is not true. There's bad stuff in this world. Car wrecks are bad. Murder's bad. War is bad. And he said, all right, next time something that you think is bad happens, push your internal pause button and wait 3 days. And during that 3 days, turn up the volume on your curiosity. And just consider that there's nothing bad except it's outside. The only bad thing is that it's outside your awareness of how to take whatever that is and use it as a leverage to your greater good. So the next time something bad happens, hit your internal pause button, wait 3 days. You don't surrender your right to get upset about it. Just don't get upset immediately. Wait 3 days. And during that 3 days, get really curious about how this circumstance actually, if you use it well, could actually be part of your greater good. Just consider that. Try it out. So we left the lecture. 2 days later, my kid's dad comes home, and there's been a big layoff where he worked. I was getting my undergraduate degree at the time, and he's been laid off. And I immediately go, oh my gosh, this is horrible, and I'm starting to get very upset about it. And then I said, that guy said nothing is bad unless we think it's bad. This just seems so bad. And I said, okay, so he said, wait 3 days, and then if we can't find some good, we can still get upset about it. So let's do this. It's Tuesday, let's wait till Friday, and if by Friday we cannot find some good in this, then we'll panic. And it was the first time I ever realized that I could actually schedule my own panic. And what happened is within those 3 days, he actually found a better job, closer to home, more money, shorter hours. He could ride his bike to work, which he loved doing. And I realized that it was the first time in my life where I didn't have to wait for a condition to change until I could actually feel better. That I could actually come from a decision about how I was going to feel versus let the condition tell me how I should feel. Now, why does this matter? Because until you have access to the part of you that can decide how you are going to relate to a condition, you have no mastery over that condition. The condition has mastery over you. What you're going to learn here today is some simple strategies, and should you choose, I'm going to invite you to spend 12 weeks with me. Let me walk you over time through a series of exercises, understandings, and experiments in your life where we're going to take the dreams that are in your mind and in your heart, and we're going to show you successfully and successively through a whole series of 12-week experiments how you can live a freer, fuller, more expansive life. Most of us, we come into this world what's called fully modal. We're creative, we're energized. As little kids, we put on possible futures. I'm going to be a ballerina, I'm going to be an astronaut, and we put on that imaginal future, and we walk around with almost that suit of imagination on us, and then we get sent to school, and we're told to stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop daydreaming. Stop thinking about, we are trained successively in how to repeat the learned knowledge base of this world. And we're taught from the time we're little kids that our 5 senses are the way in which we receive information. And it's true that our 5 senses are extremely important in navigating the terrain called time and space. But almost none of us are taught that there is an invisible part of us, that we are actually spiritual beings having a human experience, and that which is invisible to our five senses, as we are connected to how the invisible side of our nature produces the visible side of our results, as we begin to understand this, we have access to a mind that is not limited to what humans have learned. And in fact, there's not an idea you can have, there's not a dream you can create. If you create it in the mind, the very mind you create it in knows how to bring it into time. You may not yet know how, but the fact that you don't know how doesn't mean that the mind you're dreaming it in does not know how. And I can show you how to take that dream, design it with enough clarity and harmony that you actually can have access to the information required, so systematically it can download from the invisible side of your nature into the visible side of your results. Now, an analogy of that that's helpful, and what I love is that today it's so much easier to teach this because we have these technological counterparts to how it works, all right? So if you think about a computer, what's on your desktop is what you can notice. It's your conscious mind, what you're paying attention to. Everything in your files is everything that's ever happened to you. That computer comes, it's ready to receive files, but nothing is in it yet. It has a calendar, but nothing is filled in it. It has contacts, but it doesn't know anybody yet. Then you download all that information into your computer. And if that's all you know about your computer, you have very limited access to the power of the computer. All you can do is work on Word, you can work on your desktop, you can get into the files, but no one ever taught you how to get to the internet. And then one day somebody says, look, there's another whole part of the power that's in your hands. It's called the internet. The internet, what's that? And then you see this amazing mass of information, knowledge that you can tap to. And guess what? You're also trained that if you go to the Google box, the quality of the question you ask determines the quality of the information you get. And if you ask a low quality question in the Google box, you get low quality information in response. I was in Oregon with my sister, and she said, let's go to a movie. We were at a little beach town called Cannon Beach. No movie theater there. And I said, well, there's a movie theater 10 miles away in Seaside. So I got on the internet, and I type into the Google box, movie theaters in Seaside. Do you know how many seasides there are in the world? There's seasides all over the world. I ask a low-quality question. Even though I really know better, I still ask a low-quality question, and I got very crummy results. You have an invisible side to your nature that can traverse not only the internet. The internet, as we know it, as vast and big and wonderful as it is the veneer to the mind of the infinite you think with. The most important real estate you own is the mind in which you think, the thoughts you think. And until you notice the thoughts that you're choosing and investing in with your attention, you cannot possibly bring a dream into reality. So we're going to start right here with giving you the very basic but most compelling life mastery tool there is. So notice what you're noticing. Is it empowering? Is it disempowering? Would you love what you're thinking about to come into reality, or would you not love what you're thinking about to come into reality? You want to put your attention on what you want to expand in life, because the universe reads your intention by where you place your attention. It doesn't matter, you can say over and over again, I want, but if my attention is on, but I don't have, and I'm very much emotionalizing that lack, even though, imagine, you say, I want the love of my life. I really do want the love of my life, and actually you mean it, that your dream is to have the love of your life. But you go to the grocery store, and here you're walking around, and you're going, here I am, shopping for one. Here I am again, shopping for one. And what I'm thinking about in emotionalizing, and remember, emotion is a magnetic field that commands every molecule in the universe to respond to you in a responsive manner of reflection of the vibration you're in. Just like your television cannot give you a different picture than the vibration that your tuner is tuned to. So if you've been getting a lot of CNN, constantly negative news, with your television, you know to change the tuner. But most of us are trained that in order to have a different life, I need to change the circumstances, and then I can have a different life. It's actually backwards. When you learn how to think from your dream, how to work with the invisible side of your own nature, all of those circumstances begin to shift as clearly as if you have switched the channel on your television. Now we can show you how this is done, and very quickly, actually in a 12-week experiment, you can begin to see this for yourself. And if it sounds like magic, guess what? It feels like magic. Things start to happen. They feel like they're coming out of the blue. And have you ever asked yourself the question, so where is the blue? Where is that place? And the difference between magic and this is once you really know how the magic occurs, the magic goes away. You look at a magician, and when you really understand what the magician is doing, the real magic goes away. But in this world, when you really understand how it works, that's when the magic begins. So as you practice noticing what you're noticing, what will happen for you is as you start to dream a dream, you can actually notice how your mind will start thinking up why you can't do it. How ideas will tell you, oh, you don't have the money, or you don't have the experience, or you don't have, and of course you don't. And without some support, it will be easy to let those conditions control you. So that's what was happening in my life. And as I began to study this, and over time, as I began to work with a mentor, he began to show me how what's called a paradigm or an operating system governs my ability to have the awareness to recognize the opportunities that are right where I am, that I couldn't even see them because I didn't have the awareness. It isn't that the opportunities weren't there or the answers for how to bring into time what I loved wasn't available. I didn't know how to tune to it. I was tuning to problems, circumstances, situations, and I was letting those things control me. I didn't yet know how to traverse that internet of the infinite and allow ideas that really could give me a next step to take. So this governing system, this operating system, is actually called a paradigm. It's the operating system by which we live our lives. So if we believe money doesn't grow on trees, and when the economy gets better than I can, and I could have succeeded, but then I had that really crummy upbringing, and if we believe that is true, it is true for us. When Henry Ford said, if you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. It's not because the world is making you that way, it's because your belief structure only allows you to relate to yourself and the opportunities according to your belief structure. So we want to help you shift from whatever it is that's produced the visible side of your results right now to open up to the possibility that you really can live the life you love living, that your dream, what's seeking to emerge right now, is really not just good for you. It's actually going to be good for way more than you can see, way more blessing, way more benefit than you can even see coming into this. Now, you decide right now, just bring an idea to your mind of something you would love to create. If it's something you would love to create that is not yet what you're creating, we're going to call that a dream. It's right now, it's in your imagination. We want to imagine you living the life you would love to live. Not just see it out there as some distant possibility. Put yourself in the picture. Imagine yourself really living the life you love living, that your health is dynamic, that the relationships you have, you love having those relationships. Put in that picture anybody you want to. Just imagine it right now, and you are free in your imagination, that you're getting to do what you love doing with your time and talent. You wake up in the morning happy to get to live the life you're living. You have the time and money freedom to go where you want to go and do what you want to do, have what you want to have, but even more importantly, give what you want to give. So let's imagine you living this life. Now, the moment we imagine this life, we wake up something inside of us called the voice of the status quo. And that voice starts to tell us why we can't be that, why we can't do that, why we can't have that. And interestingly, at the level of fact, it's true. At the level of fact, you don't have the money, you don't have the expertise, you don't have the know-how. And if you don't have some support for how to navigate between the life you've known and the life you would love, most people get stuck in the gap. And there's a huge gravitational pull to the familiar. So they start out gung-ho, they start out full of energy, and 6 weeks later, they're pretty much living the same life they've lived. And you talk to them next year, and they're telling you the same story, and next year, and next year, and next year. I've been working with individuals and people for a very long time. It's this, what keeps us living the life we've been living, it's as strong as a thermostat. Think about the difference between a thermometer and a thermostat. With your thermometer, you can actually take the temperature of the room. But the thermometer is the one that just takes the temperature. It's the thermostat that sets the temperature. It governs the temperature in that room within a relative, goes up a couple of degrees, cool air kicks in. Goes down a few degrees, warm air kicks in to keep that room in the temperature setting of the thermostat. Your self-image is your thermostat. It governs how much positive energy you'll allow in your life, how much success you allow yourself to have, and ultimately, how much love, how much money, how much health, how much life. And almost nobody realizes the power of knowing this. So what we do in the DreamBuilder program is a 12-week experiment in unlocking the power that is already breathing you to allow you to live a life that's way more harmonious with the life that you love living, and that the most natural thing, not the most normal thing, but truth be told, the most natural thing is that numerous times a day what would rise up inside of you is this feeling, I love my life. I love my life. And ultimately, that's what dream building does for each one of us. So let me tell you a quick story about a client of mine named Lauren. Lauren, an American woman, she was an attorney, lived in Florida, woke up one day and went, I hate my life. So she thought moving to Washington, D.C. and entering into politics might be what she would love. She did that. She became very successful as a lead attorney and in doing some investigating, and that went on for a while. And one day she woke up and thought, I'm not living the life that I would really love, and what would I love? And she thought, I would love to live in Paris, or at least live a few months in Paris. She went to Paris, and she gave herself permission to live that life for a while. And over time, what Lauren decided she really wanted to do was she wanted to have her own champagne label. Now, as Lauren is moving up the ladder of awareness that she can actually do what she wants to do and live a life that she wants to live, you don't decide to have your own champagne label without having some muscle inside of you about being a dream builder. By the time she decides she wants to have her own champagne label. In France, the whole business of champagne is a very old industry, and it's a very male industry. And you can't even call it champagne except that it's grown in the district called Champagne. And so Lauren had to go through a whole process of being approved to actually have a label of champagne that would be the Lauren model. And it would be something wonderful and beautiful and very feminine, and particularly for women. And she wanted to create this beautiful bottle and this great champagne that women, executives, parties, that women would love to drink, and in the way that they would enjoy champagne. And the whole story of Lauren finding her way to getting the certificate that was required by all the men who were on the committee who made a decision, could this woman, American woman by the way, have her own champagne label, is an amazing story of dream building. And she got that certificate. But the story doesn't end there, because now you have a champagne certificate. Now you can bottle champagne. Now you can put your own label on it. And so she does. And then Lauren got scared. It was like, oh my gosh, I've got the label, but now how do I sell champagne in a male-dominated industry, and who will take me seriously? And that's when Lauren came looking for me. So when I spoke to Lauren, I said, so how did you even know about me? You're in Paris, I'm in California. And she said, well, I have a friend who is one of your clients, and I kept watching her life expand. I kept watching her create one thing after another that she wanted to create, and in a rapid amount of time, finally I said, what are you doing? How are you doing this? And she said, well, I found a mentor, and I'm working with her. And so Lauren said, can you help me? I've had a lot of success, but I can't seem to get across this gap, and I'm scared. I've invested all of this, and now I'm scared. Now, you may have had a lot of success in your life, and that next step, the gap between where you are and where you want to be, there will always be a gap between having had the life you have right now and the life you would love to live. That life is on a different frequency than the life you've been living. It's very tempting to let the circumstances that are on this frequency dominate how you navigate, and instead of coming from the dream, you will continue to come from circumstance and continue to experience the same results you've had. And without support, it's almost impossible to get across that gap, because those conditions are so loud and so compelling and seem so real, and at the level of fact, they are real. But there's more to you than that. There's more to you than the circumstances you're looking at right now. So as I began to work with Lauren, she had a dream that her champagne would be in the best champagne shops, in the best shops of Paris, that it would be served at the theaters in Paris, that women would love and have parties with this champagne. So we began systematically first to describe and then design her dream with her inside the picture. Remember earlier I asked you to put yourself inside the picture? See yourself living that life. So we began, and it's a very specific process by which you both design and then calibrate your dream. As specific, really, as if you went to a master builder and you said, I want my dream house. And you cannot say to that master builder, build me a house that makes me happy. That builder, as good as they are, can't build you a house that makes you happy unless you describe clearly what is the house you would love. Is it 2-story? Is it 1? Is it on a mountain? Is it by the river? What lights you up? What would you love? And then you describe that in visual terms. It's calibrated by an architect into its calibrated form, which we call a blueprint. So one of the things we teach you in dream building is how to take those ideas, harness them, run them through a test to make sure it's worthy of the life you're going to trade for it, because you're going to trade your life for whatever you put your time and attention on, and then systematically how to work from your dream and allow it to manifest its forms into your life. And that process is, I believe, one of the most fun things you can do with your time and talent. And if you keep breathing another 90 days, guess what? You're going to have a life. The question is, will that be a life of design or a life of default? Because if you keep breathing, you are going to have some kind of life. What would that be like? So Lauren said, all right, I want to do this. I want to do this. Can you help me? I said, yeah, I can help you. I can't do it without your participation, and I can show you how this works. I can't make it work your way, but I can show you how it works. If you will work with the way the invisible side of your nature produces the visible side of your results. And Lauren jumped in with both feet. And so I will just tell you that along the way, Lauren called one day and she said, she was on a coaching call, and it's a group coaching call, and she said, there's just no good opportunities. There's just no good opportunities. She said, all these people want me to do is just give them their champagne. They just want me to give champagne, then they taste it, and nobody's buying, and they just want. And I said, so tell me what's going on. And she said, well, this opportunity came, and it was an executive women's group, and I thought they were going to actually let me come. I was one of the 10 champagne labelers that could actually bring the champagne. I thought I was going to actually be able to tell the executive council my story, and they would see the champagne, and they would fall in love with the champagne the way I have. And of course, they would want to have it for their big international conference. And she said, but now I found out that I just get to be one of the 10. They just want me to drop off 2 bottles of champagne, and I can't even talk to the executive director of the whole conference, and they just want, And she said, it's just not a good opportunity. And I said, okay, so we can treat this one of 2 ways. This is a crummy opportunity. You either just drop off the 2 champagne bottles or you don't do it at all. She said, I'm not even going to give them champagne. I'm not going to do that. And I said, or what if it's an opportunity that right now is kind of being hidden? It's an opportunity that if you treat it as if it's a great opportunity, imagine what might happen. Let's just for a moment, just consider it could be a really great opportunity that doesn't look like it. So if it were a great opportunity, what would you do? And she said, well, it's not a great opportunity because. And I said, I hear that. But what if it were a great opportunity? She says, well, I said, how could you deliver, if you could only get to deliver the champagne to the executive assistant person, how could you tell your story in a way that when they open the bottles of champagne, what could you do? So she began to think, well, what could I? Well, basically, it's in the basket I take it in. I could put some scrolls with my story. I could put a picture of me. I could. And so she, like that. So the moment she began to imagine this opportunity from the point of view of it being an opportunity that could really benefit not only her, but the people she was giving the champagne to. I said, if they never order a bottle of champagne from you, Lauren, then what you will know for sure is that you treated this opportunity with the respect of it possibly being a great opportunity. And what I know for sure is that when you treat the opportunities that do come your way with respect and you treat them well, what happens is you get better opportunities because you are interacting with this life energy. It looks like the person, it looks like the project, it looks like the business. It's all connected in ways that we can't see with our 5 senses. So Lauren created this great basket. And Lauren got herself into, if they never buy a bottle of champagne from me, no matter what, I will have done my best with this opportunity. She got up the day it was time to deliver it. A number of things were happening. And she said, I walked down the street and I found myself whistling. I was having so much fun going to the meeting, and a couple of things happened on the way. And when I got to the building, I went up to the top floor where the executive director for this entire European executive women's group had her office. And I knew I wasn't going to get to meet her, but it was okay. I'd already gotten myself in. I had the little scrolls, and I had the basket, and I had the 2 bottles of champagne. And as I was walking down the hallway, a woman came out of the restroom, and she was all dressed in her executive suit. And she said, "Are you going?" I'm walking down towards that. She said, "Are you going to that office?" She says, "Yes, I am." She says, "Oh, you must be one of the champagne makers or champagne labelers that we're going to sample." And Lauren said, "Well, are you so-and-so?" And she said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "Well, really?" And she said, "Well, tell me about you." And Lauren got to tell this woman her whole story. She invited her into her office. She then gets to set the champagne down and do everything that she wanted to do. Guess what? When those women not only fell in love with Lauren's champagne, not only did they buy it for their big Executive Women's International Conference, but along the way, one of the men who owned and Lauren at first thought he owned a shop in Paris, he said, "You know what, I saw your champagne bottle. It's amazing. You know, I would like to order and I'd like to sell your champagne." Now, this was Lauren's bigger dream. Her bigger dream was that she not only wanted it to be sold at an executive conference where these women possibly had networks where they could tell other women about her champagne, but he said, I'd like to sell your champagne in my shop." And she said, "Well, great, you know, how much would you like?" And he said, "I'd like 15. And she said, 15 bottles? And he said, 15 cases. And she said, "Really? You want me to bring 15 cases to your shop?" He says, "No, I don't want you to bring 15 cases to my shop. I want 15 cases for every one of my shops in Paris. And I want to build a window display with your champagne." Now, you cannot make that happen, but you can make it welcome. So what I know is, if this can work for Lauren, it can work for you too. I've seen this work with all kinds of different people, from levels of success to coming from what looks like nothing. And if this material is at all compelling to you, if you really want to bring your dreams into reality, the only way to get there is to deepen your understanding of these principles and start putting them into practice over time. I know how important it is to practice to actually allow a whole different life to occur. And because I know how important it is, I've designed a 90-day immersion program for you, and it's called the DreamBuilder. This 90-day program was the evolution of many years of study, of focus, of understanding and application. It's a simple, proven, step-by-step formula that you can start right away. I'm going to essentially hold your hand as you begin to build a new structure of understanding about who you are and how to bring into time what you love. I promise you that your paradigms, the circumstances that are happening right now, are going to come up. All the things are going to begin to occur for you that are why you can't build your dream. I know that. But I'm going to also show you exactly how to apply this technology so that you have access to that in you that's bigger than the things that are keeping you stuck. And I would love to be your mentor. I'd love to help you connect and stay plugged into your greatest possibility. So as I said, if you keep breathing another 90 days, you will have a life. Not maybe, absolutely. What life will that be? So let's see if this program is for you. Are you a person who would love to live your purpose and discover your dream? Do you want to live a more fulfilling life that's more passionate, more fun, more free? Do you perhaps even need some help defining your dream? You don't know what it is yet, so that you can begin the path toward achieving it and living the life you dream, the life you would love. Do you feel a bit perhaps hemmed in or restless because you know that you're meant to do more or be more, but you're even not quite sure what that is yet or even where to begin? Do you long for more financial and personal freedom? Do you want to accelerate the learning curve? Do you want to finally get where you belong and live the life you love living? If you want to overcome fear, doubt, worry, and anxiety, if you're frustrated because you want to create consistent forward momentum in your life, you know that your self-limiting thoughts and patterns such as perhaps feeling unworthy or undeserving are really what's holding you back, and you want to move past them once and for all, then you're in the right place. And this 90 days can become perhaps the very most watershed moment of your life. Perhaps you've been a little frustrated because you've tried a lot of programs already, and you're still not where you want to be. You've even read perhaps the personal development books. You've attended seminars. You've meditated or prayed or chanted or had coaching, tried mastermind groups, created a vision board, written down your goals, taped them up on your bathroom mirror, put them in your wallet, read them every day. And still you aren't where you want to be. And the horizon keeps receding. I know, but I've been doing this a long time, and I know how frustrating this can be. Every acorn has within it the potential to become an oak tree. But not all acorns become oak trees. Not because the potential isn't there, but what's required to bring oak tree-ness out of acornness is not presenced and sustained over time. You have everything within you that's required. You have access to the very life that's breathing you. So you have everything you need in potential. That's why I've designed this program for you, to help you break through, to provide for you not only the formula, but the proper conditions over time to help your dream take root and to become your new life. So here's what you're going to get with the DreamBuilder Program, the 90-day experiment in a new way of living your life. Each week, for 12 consecutive weeks, you're going to have access to an accelerated program that puts you in touch with your dream, helps you design that dream, and how to make that dream welcome in your life. This is a self-directed program, so you get to decide how much of your time you want to invest. You will log into a private membership site. You're going to be given your personal username, your personal passcode, and then you will come and receive each week's lesson. Each week is different. Each week I will help you. I will unlock new keys for you and help you plug into a new thinking, connect you to a new frequency of thinking and choosing that actually makes welcome your dream. Each week, your program will include a professionally recorded audio lesson that I recorded. It's designed that will reveal the next step in the dream building formula. A downloadable guidebook with power questions. Remember, we talked about the internet and knowing the right question to ask in the Google box of the infinite. It took me years to learn the right questions to ask and how when I was asking a condition-based question or a vision-based question, both of which produce very different ideas from the mind of the infinite. You want ideas that give you breakthrough. So you're going to have a downloadable guidebook with power questions that will activate new thinking, new ideas. I will give you a meditation to help you stay confident and centered and connected to your dream. And lastly, as a bonus, I've also included a special teaching call if you want to go deeper into the material. And here's where connection with a mentor comes in. And I believe this is one of the most important parts of this program. You're going to receive a live group coaching call with me twice a month. I don't want to just give you the program that I've developed and designed. I want to be there for you and with you because you're going to have questions and your paradigms are going to come up and things are going to seem like they're getting in the way. I know that. So let's do this together because I've been down this path lots of time with lots of people and I can cut this learning curve way down for you. So twice a month on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, you and I are going to get on a live call together. It's a live group coaching call. Now, if you can't come live, all of this is downloadable, and you can download and listen to it at a time zone or in a place that's convenient to you. But if you can come live, and I have people all over the world who get up at very odd hours to get on that coaching call live, because they want to get their question answered. They want to hear the questions that are happening in the minds and hearts of other dream builders, because they know that as the answer comes for one person, all kinds of ideas begin to surface for each one of us. So I'm going to ask you to submit your questions to me ahead of time, but I always reserve time on the call for live questions. And what's great about it is that I will also make room in that call for I call live laser coaching. So there's a way in which you raise your hand and say, I want some live laser coaching. Or you can listen to me coach others on the call. But by hearing others' processes, you will actually receive tremendous value. So maybe on that call, you listen to someone named Susan from South Dakota who's struggling with a feeling of unworthiness and whether or not she really deserves her dream. And you will hear me work with Susan, give her ideas and a process for how to overcome that paradigm that's had her stuck for a very long time. And you'll be able to put that same learning, that same lesson into your toolbox and use whenever you need it. Chances are you might be thinking, well, that applies to me too. I get emails all week long from people saying, thank you for talking to Susan from South Dakota, because guess what? The truth is, the same principles apply to every single one of us. So remember, if you miss a call or you can't make the time one week or in another country, don't worry. I record all these calls. You're going to have access to the recordings on the private member site, online, 24 hours a day. Many of my DreamBuilder students, clients, listen more than once. They listen several times to a call because you're listening along and watch, your paradigm will kick in, you'll get distracted. You'll start to think, oh, I've got to remember to do this or that, and you miss the whole next section. So as you listen to it, and here's the truth, repetition is the key to learning, and practice is the key to mastery. So online, 24 hours a day, you can listen to it online, you can download it, you can take it with you, you can listen to it while you're driving or at the gym. We've made this as convenient as possible with you in mind to help you get the information you need and the support to move forward. So there's the live coaching call with me every other week, and then one other thing, and this is really potent. You're going to have 24/7 access to my DreamBuilder private Facebook group, where you get to meet and share ideas with fellow DreamBuilders. I personally have spent tens of thousands of dollars choosing to invest in hanging out with people who I believed were thinking and understanding these principles at a higher level than me. Now, we didn't have this way of connecting in those days. I have built for you a private place to go and hang out with people who are applying these same principles. There is a huge mastermind available to you. This resource is available 24/7. You can post a question. This Facebook community is filled with an amazing group of people who understand and live by these principles. They are breaking through their own paradigms. They are breaking free from the life they've lived and opening to the life they love. And their stories will inspire you and instruct you. So imagine a 90-day program. Every other week we get together and we do live calls together where you have the support and the structure to bring that greatness right out of you and move it from potential into reality. And imagine having a group of people that you become your friends, who you get to know from all over the world, who are living a vision-based life versus a condition-based life. There's a principle called the law of proximity. So if you think about the 5 people you hang out with most, statistically, if you average their income, that's pretty much the income you're going to make. It's not that their income is contagious, it's their thinking that's contagious. It's not because you're not worth more, couldn't create more. You hang out with them because you tend to think the way they think. So I'm not saying cast your friends aside. I promise you. Completely the contrary. I'm saying to be the friend who studies this and whose life begins to shift. Maybe not all your friends will, but some of them are going to say, I want what you're having. What's going on with you? That happened in my life. I went through that doorway in 1971. And my best friend, a few months later, started noticing things about me, and she said, wow, what's happening? That friend and I are still friends. We're best friends today. It was about 6 months or a year that she started saying, what is that? It's like you're so happy. I'm watching one thing after another happen with you. What is this? And I said, well, let me tell you what I'm studying, what I'm thinking about, what I'm experimenting with. We've created for you a whole group of people who are studying and thinking and applying this. So you have access to all of this that we've just talked about when you invest in yourself with the DreamBuilder program. That's what the DreamBuilder program includes. Now, I have a special high-value bonus for you. In the spirit of providing you with the most dream-conducive environment possible, I created a live event for my high-end clients called DreamBuilder Live. It is a 2-day in-person event with me and other like-minded, heart-centered dream builders, where we take a deep dive over 2 days into these principles. And I take you beyond your level of understanding. We spend 2 days building your dream. Now, this event is $1,495 per ticket. And I'm going to give you an amazing bonus because, like I said, I want to provide you with the most potent environment possible. I want to hang out with you and support you. And honestly, the most fun I have is helping people discover this and then live lives they love living. But because this is a live event, we actually have a limited number of seats in the room. So this special bonus is limited to the first come, first served numbers of seats that we have. So when you register for the DreamBuilder program, which I'll explain how you can do that in just a moment, you will be emailed a link to reserve your complimentary seat at DreamBuilder Live. Once all the seats are gone for the event, it will be sold out, and the doors will be closed, and this happens every time. So if you want to attend, I encourage you to sign up right away, because these events sell out, and they sell out rapidly every year. Let's get you in the room. Let's get your dreams building. Let's get you living the life you would love to live. This 90-day program has helped thousands of people achieve their dreams and repattern themselves for success. But don't just take my word for it. Listen to some testimonials from other people just like you who have been part of this Dream Building 90-day course.
Mary has changed my life completely. I've been involved with her work for under a year now, and my life is completely different than when I first started. I'm moving forward and taking action steps that I never took before. I'm getting engaged and involved in my life in a way that never happened before, and I am creating and living my dream. So 180, complete turnaround. It was fantastic. I have done a lot of different training programs, a lot of different self-development programs, and I've never had a program like Mary puts together. It's amazing in that it's kind of one of those no-brainers. You go, you do what they say, and it works.
Mary's effect on my life has been like having someone whispering in my ear saying, keep going, keep going, keep going. I am making quantum leaps in my life that I never imagined possible, and it's because Mary has awoken me to myself.
I was already running several businesses when I met Mary, and I knew that I wanted to get to the next level, but I didn't know how, and I kept looking for a coach. I've tried a lot of coaches I paid money to, but I wasn't really a connection. But when I met Mary, what I loved about what she said when I first heard her speak was that there was a codified system in which you could work with your clients. And I had clients that I really wanted to help, and not clients that I wanted just to spend time with and waste their money. I wanted a system that worked every time, and I felt like she had that system. And the most important thing for me was that it was spiritually based. And I love that about the teachings. And while I knew some of it, there was so much more that I didn't know. So every time I come, it expands me, and I'm so grateful to her for everything that she teaches.
Awesome. This DreamBuilder Live, well, this is my second one, and it was so awesome. Mary has impacted my life in incredible ways. I've been studying this material for a lot of years. This is not my first rodeo with this sort of technology of thinking. And I couldn't help but notice that my results in my life were not matching the number of years that I've been studying this material. And I don't think I'm necessarily a slow learner. I just did not have the tools, the support structure that Mary provides in her programs. And it led me to want to be part of her programs. I started off in January with DreamBuilder Live for the first time. I signed up for DreamBuilder coaching, and I also signed up for the Elite program. And I've been working with Mary for the last 5 months with a mastermind elite group, and raising the bar for me to really access and become aware of the places where I've been holding myself back. And that is the reason I'm beginning to understand why even though in the land of thinking and knowing and studying, I understood these principles, I didn't know how to actually apply it. And so Mary's step-by-step process has been this support structure, the scaffolding around me to help me to continue to elevate my own thinking and my dreams about what I can do, be, have, become in the world.
The DreamBuilder Live event was so amazing. This was the second time that I've been here, and the teaching that comes out of Mary, every time it just gets better and better. And really the stream of consciousness that's running through her is some of the best on this planet. And I really felt like there were so many great concrete action steps to take that I am really excited to go home and implement in my life. Mary has completely changed my life. I have never had a mentor up until I met Mary, and as soon as I met her, I knew that there was really something special about her. And you look around at all of the people that are in all of her programs and the kinds of results that she has in her life, that all of the people that work with her closely have, and you know that she really creates this incredible structure around people the scaffolding around people to help facilitate their lives in the directions that they want to go.
I thought it was amazing. I thought it was completely in order of my higher purpose, and I had been called to come here, and Mary Morrissey said all the right things that I needed to hear to take me on the next path of my journey.
I feel like I'm bringing my energy to a whole new level, and the possibilities are immense. So I really feel like she gives us the tools to become who we really meant to be.
The DreamBuilder Live program is amazing, and I've been to probably 5 or 6 of Mary's DreamBuilder courses, and each one just gets better and better. I learn new little nuggets each time that I can really bring into my life. It's an amazing program, and it always re-energizes me into my vision and my dream and just taking it to the next level. So it's an up-leveling, and it's amazing and wonderful.
So you may be wondering just exactly what you're going to learn in this program. So here's some examples of what you'll discover. You'll learn the one thing people who live happy, fulfilled lives have in common, and it's probably not what you think. You'll learn how to discover and design and then refine your dream. You'll learn the 2 parts of your mind and how you must use them both to ask the questions that guide you toward the answers that are required for you to make welcome your true dream. You'll learn how honoring discontent and longing can actually bring you closer to your dreams, truly. You'll learn how your dream speaks to you and why you must listen or you'll never see your dreams become your reality. You'll learn the one thing you must do to allow abundance to support you. And I promise you, this really works. You'll learn the mindset that you need to stay open to the universe's generosity. The universe is abundant, but when we're vibrating at the level of lack, we keep reproducing lack. We'll show you how to vibrate, how to open to accessing the answers, the support, through a structure that makes it welcome for you. You'll learn where to actually see and allow that abundance to show up in your life. And I promise you, it's not in your paycheck, it's not in your inheritance, or the friend who owes you money. That's not where your abundance is. You'll also learn a 5-step process for thinking beyond your circumstances and problems. This is the secret for how you change your conditions through the vibration of your thinking. Well, simple, but it's not easy if you don't know how. We'll teach you a simple way to make your own life way easier. You'll also learn how to use your thinking power in service of your dream instead of the conditions you currently have. You'll learn what to do when you feel like giving up. You'll learn how to tell the difference between when to persist in a dream and when to be redirected to a new and higher dream. You'll also learn how to be a vibrational match for the dream you're dreaming, so that the world of circumstance, situation, opportunity begins to reflect the vibration you're in. You actually learn how to make welcome the dream you're dreaming. You'll learn the one thing that creates the magnetic field that surrounds you, so you know what you're attracting and not attracting. You'll also learn the one feeling that you must live from if you really want to live abundantly. And you're going to learn a whole lot more. So if you would love to have a kind of support that really helps you in designing and living your dream, then I want to make that available to you. So how much is the DreamBuilder investment? My DreamBuilder program is valued at $997. But for a limited time, we're going to give you the opportunity to have the entire 90-day experience at nearly 50% off. So the investment for the entire 90-day program is only $497. You get all the weekly lessons, the proven dream building formula, the downloads, the guidebook, access to the online community, live coaching calls with me every other week. You get all of this support for 90 days. You can either invest $497 all at once, or you can stretch it out into 4 simple payments of just $174 a month. But again, that part of the offer is only valid for a limited time. All you have to do is click the registration button below on your screen. Let's get you going. Let's get you in a 90-day experiment. Let's show you how wonderful your life can really be. I want you to succeed and to make your significant impact in the world. And what I really love doing and would love to do with you is walk with you step by step for 90 days. I'll show you how to apply these things over time so that a new, more expansive way of living becomes your new way of living, and your thermostat moves to a higher level, that you actually can allow more positive energy to move through the lens of your life, and that you'll learn that you can really shape your life according to the dreams of your heart. So think about it this way. How much will it cost you not to enroll in the program in terms of the time spent with discontent, longing for something, and struggling with circumstance, not knowing how to create the life you love living? How much will it cost you not to enroll while you continue to repeat patterns of perhaps failure or struggle or difficulty or discontent? So how much would it be worth to you to actually live the life you love living? Have the health you've wanted, the love you've wanted, the business you've dreamed of, the difference you've wanted to make, the freedom, the time and money freedom. How much is that worth? When I met with my first mentor, and I told him I wanted the kind of freedom he had. I wanted I knew that I could see what the life he was living was like. And I went, I want to do that. And he said, I can show you how to do that, but it's going to cost you. Literally, my body moved backwards. And I said, how much? And he said, wrong question. How much is it costing you not to? And I've been struggling along for 5 years trying to build a business that I wanted to build, teaching what I wanted to teach. I didn't know how to do it. He said, I can show you how this works, but I can't make it work your way. It works its way. Now I can show you how it works. And he said, so when he gave me the number that was going to be my investment number, there was no way I knew how I could do that. But he helped me take the step I could take. And then he began to teach me how to pattern my thinking and my choices from the result I wanted to create instead of from the problems I was facing at the time. And my life radically shifted. So at this point, right now, you may have some specific questions in your mind. How do I know? Because I've been doing this a long time, and people email me their questions. So I'm going to take a moment now. I'm going to answer the most commonly asked questions right here. Number 1, when does the program begin? The program begins the moment you register. When you sign up, you'll receive immediate access to the website and your first lesson, and you will be sent the call-in passcode for your call with me. Each week, you'll be sent the next lesson for the next 90 days. We've created this so that you don't have to wait for your dream. It can actually begin manifesting right now. People often ask, I'm busy with a full-time job, kids, or another coaching program. Will I have time to do this? How much time does it take? Interestingly, this is not a program about doing more. It's about learning how to use your most precious assets, your time, your mind, to accomplish a whole lot more with a whole lot less effort. You're going to keep breathing anyway. You're going to keep creating results anyway. Let's liberate them. Let's give you a way of doing your life that produces the freedom and the life you love living. The most successful people have the same amount of time you do. They have 24 hours in a day. So it's about learning how to use that time, the way you're thinking, the way you're choosing, the way you're relating to this thing called your life. The truth is, you're building your life anyway. You're taking your kids to school, you're folding the laundry, you're doing whatever you're doing. But with dream building, you're going to shift the frequency you're doing these things from, and your results are going to change because you're living from a design instead of from the conditions, instead of living from default. This program really takes about 1 hour a week, and we've designed it for the busy professional. Now, those people who make the most rapid results download that 1 hour of training and repeat it while they're doing other things. But all the information is downloadable. It's online, so you can access it at your convenience. You can take it with you on the go. And lastly, what if the investment isn't convenient? First, it's interesting because major transformation never comes at a time when it's comfortable or convenient. That's one indication that you're actually on the right track. Now, if you're going to miss a mortgage payment, don't sign up for this program. But what if this were the last time that you ever had to ask the question, where am I going to get the money? Look into your bank account to determine what you can or cannot do. That is condition-based living, and it will never produce new results. So if you would love to do the 90-day experiment with your life, with me as your guide and your mentor and your support person, then I would love to do this as well. So let's get you going. I want to work with you. I've made this as easy as possible because my purpose is in helping you build your dreams. So are you ready to finally start living your dream life? $497 is a special limited price. If you come to my seminars or other places, you're not going to be able to get this program for $497. It doesn't happen. Once you learn the technology and apply it, you'll begin to see all kinds of things happen in your life. And that's the fun part. And as you practice and get better, it actually gets really effortless. Over time, you begin to recognize that this is the most precious gift there is. You only get one life. The average lifespan is about 77 years. That's 28,105 days you get to live. That's if you live to be 77. Along the way, and I've been doing this for a long time, not all of us get 77 cycles around the sun. What you can't replace is a life that you love living, not then, but now. You can live those years in struggle, confusion, or you can live them in fulfillment. Will you look back and say that this day was a trajectory-changing day in my life because I invested in myself, in my dream, and in a life that I love living? The choice is yours. So to recap, you'll receive the entire 90-day dream building program, where each week you'll log into a private membership site. You'll receive that current week's lesson on dream building, which includes a professionally recorded audio lesson, weekly guidebook exercises. You'll also receive live group coaching and Q&A sessions every other week on the phone with me, where you can get support and answers to your most burning dream builder questions. You'll have 24/7 access to your Dream Builder private Facebook group, where you can meet and share ideas with your fellow dream builders. And as a bonus, you'll receive a complimentary ticket valued at $1,495 for the Dream Builder Live event. And that's available on a first-come and first-served basis. And all you have to do now is say yes. Click the registration button, and let's get you going. Let's get you registered right now. What I know is you are going to feel so good about your life. You're going to have the pride and the feeling of goodness of living a life that you call successful. You're going to be one of those people who walks into a room, lights it up, just by being there because you are that happy. You're going to be the person that others want to be around because you're living your dream. You're going to be a person of significance. All you need to do is say yes to you. Click that registration button. That's it. You'll have instant access to everything I've promised you. I look forward to meeting you. I want to see you at Dream Builder Live. I'll meet you over the phone before that, but I look very much forward to not only meeting you, but supporting you as you build your dream.